What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of May 21st. I'm your host, Zach, joined by the world's number one Psychonauts 2 fan, David.
Oh, bunger. I know I did it once already, but I fucking love this song.
I mean,
Bunger,
there's
bunger,
never
bunger.
enough bunger in the world.
We've
We've got the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
Hands up and don't move. I have keyboard cleaner.
He knows how to use it, folks. We've got the voice of the people, Rob.
What up?
And the hockey stick and sickle herself, Elise. Your mic ate half of that, but I totally got what you meant. It's the greatest line ever. Dog bless every voice actor who's read that in any language ever, because every single one of them is classic. Folks, if you didn't know, this is the bi-weekly gaming news talk show we do here on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like this show, you can catch it live, like I said, on twitch.tv. And if you want to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/SaveDataTeam. So here we go. Patrons. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Vergabon, Les, Bandicoot Commando, Cud, Dave, Shadownavi, and Sofino, HSM, Ern, Tsunayama, Antelester, Kevin, Asian, and Alucha. Shout out to Jacob Bell, 73. Don't forget Nicola, Mystic, Woody. Dessert Boy Man, Jadwap, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat. Alex, Forensic Back, Fofilla, Archaeopter, Rigadee, and Sabilla. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Hey, if you didn't watch the show, we always start with a trivia question to determine the order. And folks, also in the pre-stream, we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog. Did we talk about Sonic the Hedgehog? We talked about Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog. And my question to you all is, because we mentioned one of the news topics that got cut this week is, unfortunately, Sega is expecting Sonic Frontiers to have the highest review scores for the franchise, which, like, hey, of course, I hope they fucking want that for their game. But my question is, what is the highest review score for a Sonic the Hedgehog game made by Sonic Team on Metacritic?
Oh, okay. You had to toss in that last bit that might have fucked me up.
Because that was the first link I found was to Sonic Team's Metacritic.
Okay, so this would not include
Mania?
Sonic Mania.
Was not made by Sonic Team?
Correct.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So wait, was the question name the game or name the score?
Score. I mean,
what was the score?
we'll do a fun bit of like, what do you think the game was after that? But yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an 86.
86?
That seems a little high, but
Yeah,
a little high.
fuck Sonic. But
I'm going 81. They must have had one that
And
was
this is the highest
I know.
aggregate review score for a singular Sonic game.
actually, I'm gonna bring it down. Can I bring it down to 84?
Sure.
Don't let 'em.
86
Oh.
seems too high. And I'm
Okay.
gonna use like Sonic Generations.
Elise says 84. David's at 81.
I want to change my answer.
You didn't say an answer.
When I say it, I want to change it.
God damn it. Do you
I'll
want to
go
say your
79.
first answer, Rob?
Yeah, I'll go 79. Yeah.
Correct answer. 89.
Oh, wow.
You will not get what the game is correct. I guarantee that.
Colors.
No.
Was it Generations?
No.
89.
Adventure 2 Battle?
Pridge, you're pretty much there. It's the original Dreamcast
Adventure.
release of Adventure 2.
Oh,
Fucking
no.
wild.
That didn't even have like the Chow Garden, did it?
It had
Battle
Chow
Edition?
Garden. It didn't have the multiplayer.
Okay.
Sonic has multiplayer?
You know
let's
what?
not get into it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Sonic Adventure 2 was actually like good for the time. It just didn't age well. That's fair.
Yeah. Which I believe means the correct order will be Elise, followed by David, followed by Rob, followed by Pridge?
Pridge and Rob.
Pridge and Rob, okay. Elise is out at the moment, but let me get through reading the topics, which include...
At least needs that pizza.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the pizza. Hashtag pizzas for Elise. This just broke literally like an hour or two before we started streaming. EA is apparently looking to be acquired. We also have Xbox is going to be releasing a streaming stick for TVs next year. You can probably play Xbox Game Pass on your television without even having to buy an Xbox. Activision's diversity metric debacle that happened last week. PlayStation's boss Jim Ryan says to, quote, respect both sides on the abortion debate and sent out a very lengthy email about this and about cats and about how dogs know their place. It got a lot of PlayStation people pretty upset, understandably. In response to that, Insomniac donated $50,000 to an abortion rights fund, but were also essentially told by PlayStation to not comment publicly about this in order to kind of speak in step with PlayStation as a whole. PlayStation has also revealed the game lineup for its new PlayStation Plus service. Nintendo says that transitioning to next-gen hardware is the current focus for them. Electronic Arts will no longer publish games under the FIFA branding, and FIFA themselves will make their own soccer games moving forward in the future, or football for our international fans. Fortnite is finally going to be able to be played on iPhones again, thanks to it coming to Xbox Cloud Gaming, which can be played on your phone. Square Enix has sold off Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal to Embracer for over $300 million. Honestly, it's a pretty small amount for those, but we'll talk about that probably. Fall Guys is going free to play, will launch on Xbox and Switch, and have a level builder. Will this make it a big comeback story this summer? And last but not least, Xbox has announced both Starfield and Redfall have been delayed out of 2022. How bad is this for Xbox's rest of the year? Elise, I think you might have missed this. You did, in fact, win. You were closest. The correct answer was 89 with Sonic Adventure 2 on the original Dreamcast. Oh, at least you muted.
So I was almost closer on my first one.
You were closer on your first one, yeah. It's wild.
God. Too high. That game sucks.
Elise, what would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
Let's talk about this fucking Embracer deal. Because, like...
Yeah.
$300 million? What the fuck?
Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah, so... hold on. I'm just actually finding the article again.
You're good.
Here it is. So, Embracer has acquired Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. These are teams known for fucking Tomb Raider, the Avengers game, fucking Deus Ex, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Thief, lots of big IPs have been sold off from Square Enix to Embracer Group for $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, a lot of money, but also this is two large AAA studios, and all of their IP plus a little more, I think. This is signs that, to me, Square Enix is getting ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
This is trying to get rid of assets that they don't know how they can value into their own valuation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're selling them off for bits and pieces. I don't know what Embracer is going to do with them. I'll get into that in just a sec. But it sounds like Square Enix is trying to strip themselves bare, selling themselves off for chunks, and then selling themselves off to, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. Because there have been a lot of these big selling things. I know when we were talking about the Bungie deal and the Activision deal, we were talking about what else might be picked up, and we were saying maybe Square Enix to PlayStation. And that at the time I was like, no way. I was like, they're too big. I don't think they're going to sell. But this is really making me reconsider that, because it's a lot easier to sell if you're, your Final Fantasy and the Nomura teams, whatever that is, rather than being trying to sell off all of at once, the Final Fantasy teams, the Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, and every other subsidiary. That's a lot harder to be that big of a sell. It also feels like for $300 million, there's probably some unchecked like conflicts of interest here. I would not be surprised if there was something going on like behind the scenes to get this deal that cheap, because that's just way too little money.
Yeah, I do think it is kind of a surprising low amount, especially considering, like, granted, Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal are not as big of a deal as like a Bungie, which went for way more, or like certainly not an Activision, which was like what, almost $70 billion, something crazy. But like, still, 300 million feels really small for three pretty big studios, let alone the IP that they hold, which, like, you can argue some of the IP isn't as valuable, but like freaking Tomb Raider, I guarantee we're going to see like remakes and re-releases from Embracer, because that's kind of their whole MO. But still, it's like this does also seem wildly cheap. And
quoted in the article, 1,100 staff, 3 developers, 8 locations.
Yeah.
Like, that's not small. That is
that's a lot of staff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of staff.
I mean,
and these are like pretty highly valued companies, I would say. They're not like, the biggest companies in the world, but they're making IPs that are selling bucks. Like Tomb Raider, the new remakes, I'm sure sold like a hell of a lot.
And if you kind of like the what we're told is the average cost of a developer per month, which is $10,000. Every single one of those developers is another $10,000 you have to pay every single month. Like, that's not even that. It almost like the 300 million is like whatever compared to what you're eating monthly just in keeping everybody afloat. I mean, not really, but it's still very interesting. And Snowcat in the chat points out, wasn't the official story that they were selling off to raise money to invest in NFT nonsense. God. They did mention a lot of stuff with blockchain. I think it very much goes step in step with what Elise was saying, with them trying to make themselves sound more marketable or raise their own market share before they get sold off, which I think also goes hand in hand with the last week of them being like, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be announced soon. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 is going to be announced soon. Like, get hyped, everybody.
That's a really good point that they're like trying to up their value a lot this week.
Exactly. So we'll see. I think it's interesting, and too, with what you were saying with the different locations, that's a lot of different locations in a lot of different places. If they can consolidate all of their studios into one part of the globe and then sell that as a chunk, I think that also makes it a more attractive deal. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Moving on. Round 2, David, what would you like to talk about?
I forgot I was second. Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's talk about EA.
Hey, speaking of one company trying to be sold, let's talk about another.
One company trying to sell. So EA, it has literally, I believe today, like an hour ago, came out that EA has actually been in negotiations with a bunch of different companies to sell or merge, depending on the company. I believe they were talking to whoever the parent company of NBC is to like spin off NBC and then merge them with EA, which seems like a weird thing to do. And really, I just want to talk about the trend of these giant studios really just trying to be bought during the current times, and what that could mean. Because, like, listen, EA, they've been in talks with a bunch of people. Activision Blizzard is in the process of being acquired by Xbox. Square Enix seems to be, positioning themselves for acquisition. There aren't a whole lot of other big AAA studios other than them. I shouldn't say studios, but groups of studios. Like Ubisoft has been rumored to both be looking to sell and being defending against sale because Ubisoft and Guillemot family. So I think it's a really interesting trend of these companies that I think have gotten to the point where they're about as big as they're going to get. and they're having trouble, continuing to increase. Hey, welcome to capitalism. You have to continue to grow year by year by year by year by year.
Yeah.
Especially when you're publicly traded.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of these companies are starting to reach the point where they're like, okay, we don't have the levels of growth that we want to have. So what do? We merge with a company, we get bought by another company, so that we, our numbers get mixed with theirs, or hey, we get access to all these different IPs. I'm pretty sure that's the impetus behind EA looking for like a multimedia company to get with, because then hey, there's a bunch of different IPs that they have access to make games. EA especially when it comes to the big third-party developers, has a pretty large mobile division. PopCap is owned by EA along with other mobile studios, so it'd make a lot of sense for them to go with a multimedia group. But I don't particularly like this, everyone being bought, because all the big companies are just going to become like 3 big companies. Don't super love that. But what I do look forward to is, because all of this shit is literally cyclical. We've already seen it happen once before, with EA being one of the people that bought up everyone. Eventually, all the devs get mad because there's a bunch of bureaucracy, because you go from like a few hundred people to several thousand, and that just becomes difficult. And they all spin off and make AA studios, and the cycle begins again. So I'm excited for that cycle to start again. That's how LucasArts back in the early 90s was huge. They made all these adventure games. They spun off and made Double Fine was one of them. Interplay spun off and made Obsidian and In Exile and a bunch of these other studios that now make super cool games. So I'm looking forward to 10 years from now, when all of these big acquisitions dissolve into a bunch of small studios from the game devs leaving. So I'm looking forward to that, folks. It'll be a while.
Yeah. It's the thing where that's exactly what it is like. Even freaking Activision themselves originally started because they were mad that the way Atari was treating the developers. They're like, we're going to break off and form our own game studio. And it's literally
a cycle. It's literally a cycle.
You live long enough to die the hero, see yourself become the villain, and you live long enough you either fold or you live long enough to become a big games publisher. And
that was not smooth.
Analogies are fucking hard, y'all. I'm sorry. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. I'm trying to get out of here.
That was a little rough.
Zach out here being about as smooth as 10 grit sandpaper.
Fuck you. Going on from there, I forget. Was it Rob or was it Pridge?
I think it's me.
Okay, Pridge, take it away.
All right.
What do you want to talk about? Sorry.
I'm going to talk about Nintendo's announcement that their transition to its next console is a major focus for them. So this was basically just part of a huge investor Q&A that occurred in Japan. And basically it just involved Nintendo's president Shintaro Furukawa, basically saying what I just said. The transition to its next hardware is a major focus. The biggest thing is that people should not really be freaking out about this as like, oh my gosh, something's going to happen soon, or like anything, because again, meaning it being a major focus just means they're working on it. And honestly, the minute you release a new piece of hardware, you're immediately working on the next one.
Yeah.
So this is something that in no way should like light up people's sensors that they should be looking for something on the horizon. And as this article points out, one of the biggest reasons they even talk about this is that Nintendo has had in recent years 2 hugely successful consoles that were followed up by significantly less successful follow-ups. Obviously, the big one is the Wii selling over 100 million and the Wii U not being able to break 14 million, which is obviously a massive decrease. But even with the DS and the 3DS, the DS sold 154 million and 3DS only 75. Now, 75 is still phenomenal, obviously. That's still huge, but it's less than half of what the DS did. So, really, the only reason this question was even brought up is that Nintendo obviously does not want to follow up the Switch with something that sells less than half of what the Switch sells, which, to be fair, it could still be a lot of sales because the Switch is sold amazing. So even if you sold something half as well, that's still a shit ton of sales. But again, that's sort of why this question was even brought up. It's not to insinuate that, like, you know, there's plans in the works or anything's going to be leaked or announced. It could be several years before we even hear anything. Especially since, again, we got the Switch in 2017 and the Switch Lite in 2019. So I guess on the other side of things, it has been 5 years into the Switch's lifespan. So it makes even more sense that they're looking towards what's next. But with how good the Switch is doing, again, this shouldn't be an indicator of anything coming up soon. It's just the fact that these are the kind of questions that get asked in investor Q&As.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, especially with how well it's doing. I think that is even more reason for them to, like, not make another console just yet. I mean, of course they're testing stuff. They're trying to figure out what it's going to look like, how they can get the pipeline to work. But yeah, I don't think they're going to announce the new Switch anytime soon because good Lord.
We're not anywhere near something like that.
When you have over 100 million units out there and the attachment rate is like insane on some of these games. I mean, 40 million copies of a Wii U game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 30 plus million copies of Animal Crossing. Literally every Pokemon game sells over 10 million copies on it. It's just like, okay, well, keep buying more Switches, kids. I don't know what to tell you. Shit.
Right.
Can't wait to see what random gimmick they include in the next Switch. Like,
it's more
the
portable.
psychopath that's in Nintendo R&D who's gonna make some gimmick. What is it gonna be?
Yeah,
the Wii was motion controls. The Wii U was the gamepad. The Switch was the dock. What's next?
Just please, God, don't let it be VR.
No, that's the Labo. It's the cardboard VR.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen that?
Just let it be. Just let it be the
already
same
did
thing.
that.
Just let it be the Switch 2. Let it be a little bit stronger.
Oh,
and everything's
Zach.
fine. I know they won't do that. I know they won't do that. But God, I just want them to do that. Ugh. Rob, what would you like to talk about for the final topic of round one? He's yawning, folks.
Big yawn on stream.
Oof. I'm tired. Let's end the stream now. He's also muted, folks.
He's also muted. Rob is also muted.
This
Let's
fucking
talk
idiot.
about. Let's talk about Activision's diversity metric tool.
Hey, this is a real treat. The internet had a field day with this one.
Oh, they
I
loved
was a
it.
real big fan of this one.
Yeah.
So Activision has this. What do you call this? Not like a pie chart. They have this little graph where they can graph their characters' diversity metric and give it a numerical value to determine if they're diverse enough or not.
Mm-hmm.
Which here's the thing. I'm going to go a little counterculture on this one. I think this is a good idea because white people are stupid when it comes to diversity. Okay? Hear me out. Wait a minute. Okay? I don't want to lose anybody.
None of us are
Okay?
gonna account.
Yeah.
Literally, none
We're
of us are gonna
listening. We're
counter
listening.
This was either a well-intentioned. Actually, I'm not even gonna talk about who made this. I'm just saying the fact that they were able to get use out of this tells me, holy shit, they actually needed something like this, right? If they had had a diverse staff before this came into play, somebody would have been like, hey, this is fucking stupid, right? Like, we're just going to make, like, fucking characters, and the diversity is going to happen naturally. But since they don't have this particular, diverse staff already in place, they have to make this thing so they can go, this guy with the dreadlocks, is he diverse enough? I don't know. Let's he's scoring kind of low in the religion category. Can we bump that up to a Muslim maybe? Can we get a little more spice in there, this strong white girl, she's basically a white guy, actually. Can we, what can we do to give her pink hair? Now she's real diverse, right? Like, the fact that this is a good thing, right? This is a great thing, actually. They need to be applying this not only to their games, to their hiring practices. They need to go door to door in their cubicles and say, okay, if you're below a 7 on a diverse meter, you're fucking out of here, buddy. And then they just need to clean out the entire goddamn organization and refill it with people who are like 8s, 9s, 10s, pluses, and then we're good to go. The problem has been solved.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty fucking banger. Taking their diversity metric and applying it to their hiring
Boom.
is 100%. It's like the problem is that the staff, like you said, is they need to use this tool because they just don't understand what it means.
They're just gonna start plugging in just the most random shit possible. Let's try to max somebody out on this fucking scale, right? And it's like, what kind of human have you made? Does this person exist anywhere on the planet? No, but they exist in our game.
Oh yeah, and then you have all the memes about.
We have created the ultimate diversity.
What's
Diversity prime.
the fucking hamster character Hammond?
Something like that.
Yeah, the memes about that of like where do they score on the diversity scale? They're a fucking hamster.
I know I work there. I don't know his name. I call him Hamtaro.
Oh god. Yeah, Chris literally in the chat at the exact same time said Hamtaro. Yeah, it's just yeah, you nailed it, Rob. You fucking nailed it. And the chat agrees with you here. Kadabe gives you a point for not pulling punches on that. Witchtower gives you a point for absolutely murdering Activision. And Shadowco gives a point saying Rob for president. Well, I don't know about that one, but
I do like that one quite a bit.
I like that one a lot, actually.
That'll be good for everybody.
Oh gosh,
that'll be good for a couple people.
I'd vote for him.
Rob still needs like 10 or 15 years before he can even run. You gotta be 40 something.
35.
I thought it was 40. Okay.
That's 35. Nobody's been that young and been president, but anyways.
JFK was the closest, right?
Oh yeah, JFK
Reagan.
I think was the youngest.
JFK. He was what, 46?
And look what happened to him.
Dead.
Anyways, I didn't mean to segue to that.
No, that's a very good segue. If you're a young president, you will get assassinated in a convertible in Texas.
God damn it. Hey, on that note, Elise, what do you want to talk about for your second?
Let's toss it to the not American.
Save us, please.
We don't know how to save ourselves. We're Americans.
In Minecraft, how you assassinate a president in Minecraft. Purely in Minecraft.
What?
No, let's talk about Phil Spencer apologizes Bethesda raises questions about Xbox pipeline, which is the dumbest headline for this. Basically,
yeah.
Bethesda revealed that they're not hitting release dates on Redfall and Starfield. Mm-hmm. Redfall is the new Arcane joint that's like a battle royale vampire shit. And Starfield is like Bethesda Game Studios' first game since fucking was it 76 Fallout 4?
Technically 76, but if you want to be real, it's Fallout 4, yeah.
But if you really want to be real, it's Skyrim. And the big thing about this is they really committed to that release date of November 11th, 2022, 11 years after Skyrim. Skyrim was like that 11/11/11 date. Mm-hmm. And actually, when that date came out, a bunch of the devs were like, what the fuck? You never told us about this. Like, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, mostly internally. This has come out since that, like, that was, like, the surprise drop at, what was it, like, E3?
I think it was E3.
Yeah, that was like a surprise to the devs too, and they basically immediately knew that they were not going to make that date. Mm-hmm. And that was like a marketing tool because how cool would it be? Starfield releases 11 years after Skyrim on the
How
11,
cool
11, 22.
would it be, you know? Emphasis on
Also-
fucking would.
Yeah, but also, come on. Like, and, you know, I'm excited for both of these games. I have faith in Arcane. I have some faith in Bethesda Game Studios.
I think everybody
they'll make
wants
a
to
good
believe
game.
that they're going to make a good game.
Yeah. I don't know that the game will be good, but I want to believe it is. Redfall's probably going to be good too. Yeah, this is just, it's really interesting that, like, they waited this long to announce a delay after basically everyone internally was like, this is not going to happen already. Yeah, but I hope it goes well for them. It's the first half of 2023, so not super long of a delay. I kind of actually expect another delay on at least Starfield
I could see that.
to, like, maybe even the back half of 2023. I don't think it'll be going further than that, but yeah.
It's what you said of, like, they knew internally this wasn't gonna happen, and I'll answer this: the reason they waited till just now to say it was that if they showed up at E3 and didn't say anything about Starfield, everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Where's Starfield?" So they had to say it about a month before their E3 conference to be like, "Yeah, hey, it's not gonna be there." But Elise, do you have any predictions on what they're gonna do to try and fill Xbox's games desert for the rest of the year?
God, Xbox is in a really bad place because, like, their console's been out for fucking almost 2 years now, and they've got Halo.
Which people
And
aren't
they
super
barely
stoked
have
about.
Halo.
Yeah.
Do they have anything else? Like,
Forza
that's the thing
Horizon
about the
5.
Xbox.
Oh, Forza,
Horizon,
yeah.
that was a big one.
That's a very specific crowd of people.
What I really think they're just gonna do is they're gonna try to find some, like, bigger indies to put on Game Pass. Be like, here, this is your fill, because that's kind of their thing. Their thing is, like, we don't have the games, we've got the Game Pass.
Yeah. I think that's kind of all they can do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's not like they can, like, rush out a different AAA game to fill that release date.
the alternative is going with what you said. They get some major third-party game on day and date at Game Pass. So it's like, okay, we'll just come play whatever Ubisoft's major game or what, like they did with MLB The Show, where, like, that's a major AAA third-party game that a lot of people are going to want to play. Hey, come use our service. But anyways,
Game Pass is a good system, like a good service, but also just get it on PC, and you don't have to buy, like, a console that's good for nothing.
or potentially get it coming to TV. David, what would you like to talk about for round 2?
Oh, good segue to a topic I'm not taking.
Damn it!
I mean, there's not a whole lot there, you know?
It's
We already talked about it for the past, like, year, basically.
It's fine. I don't think we've talked about it on the show, but
It's
fine.
Fair,
Talk about what you want.
I am going to talk about PlayStation's PlayStation Plus lineup.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have a vested interest in this. So PlayStation Plus and PS Now have, it was announced previously, they're merging into one service. It's PlayStation Plus, same name, and it's going to have a tier system. And at, like, the second tier, you get, like, a library of PS4 and PS5 games. And at the third most expensive tier, they toss in some, like, retro games. And they started to announce games that will be on the service. And I'll be honest, the PlayStation 4 and 5 library fucking rules. Like, if you are just getting into the PlayStation ecosystem and you haven't played a bunch of these, there's a shitload of really good games in here. Like, Bloodborne's in here, God of War 2018 is in here, the Gravity Rush series is in here, like Infamous, Last of Us Remastered and Left Behind 4 is part 2 is missing, but that's okay. Like some of the, like, all the Uncharted games, there are a bunch of mostly really good games in here. Heck, Outer Wilds is on here for PS4 from a third party. Great game, absolutely great. Control's on here. Celeste is on here. Fantastic fucking PS4, PS5 games. At this point, I'm looking at this list. The mid-tier is the way you want to be. Like, the mid-tier has this crazy library. It has your normal PS Plus games that you get every month, your online access, all that jazz. What I was really interested in, because, you know, being a host of a gaming podcast, I usually buy a lot of these games at release, and they're not going to be on the PlayStation Plus service. So I'm not going to get a lot of use out of that. A lot of you folks hopefully will. However, classic games. Listen, I'm a 30 to 40-year-old white man. I am basically powered by nostalgia for old video games. That is my source of energy for getting through the day. Is nostalgia for old games.
That's all we have, David, is the past.
It's all I have. All I have is the past. So, listen, I'm kind of disappointed by the selection of old games. It's not great. These are the games they marketed and announced. There's supposedly more, but these are let's listen to the PlayStation 1 and PSP games that they chose to announce ahead of time. Ape Escape, an actually good game, okay. Hot Shots Golf. There's been better since. IQ Intelligent Cube. Jumping Flash Siphon Filter. Okay, I bet that doesn't age well, but okay.
Yeah.
And then Super Stardust Portable. The only PSP game on the entire list of things they announced. That was just there so they could put PSP in the marketing. Like, listen, this has nothing in terms of PS1 games. They've got also like Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, not even Tekken 3, the good one. What the fuck are you doing? What's going on? And then they have like Worms of Party and stuff. So some of the stuff is good, but like overall, really disappointed by the PlayStation 1 selection. I mean, I'm just gonna say it because I have to. Like, where's Legend of Legaia? You own it. It's your game.
Oh my god, the fucking Legends of Legaia reference. Jesus Christ.
They literally own the IP. Put it on the list.
My question is, what is Fantavision?
Fantavision?
Is it
actually
Fanta?
Fanta?
Yeah, isn't it tied in with
I was thinking
Fanta?
about it.
Wait, where is that?
It's the classics remasters.
Sorry, do you say
Fantavision. Yeah.
Yeah, because the commercials want a Fanta.
Wanna Fanta? Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, like, they got some decent PlayStation 2 and 3 ones that were already on PS Now, so they're literally nothing new, which I kind of expected. Like, the Dark Cloud games already on there. Jack and Daxter games already on there. The one JRPG other than Dark Cloud, Rogue Galaxy, tossed that in there. Yeah, it's all stuff they already had. So like at this point, they even put some PS4 remasters into the classic games catalog just to try and build it out some. Like they got BioShock, Borderlands, and Kingdoms of Amalur remasters from primarily, I think all of those are 2K.
Yeah.
And THQ. So like they licensed those just so they could put them under the classic games thing to make this look more appealing than it is. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in the classic game selection. I think it's incredibly disappointing. And they have PS3 games that you can only stream. You still can't install them, so that's super cool, I guess.
Yeah.
And they added time limited game trials, and like weirdly, they announced a few games that support it. Literally 6. There's only 6 games that support the time limited game trials at launch that they've talked about so far. Uncharted, the Legacy of Thieves collection, the New Horizon game, Cyberpunk. Yes, Cyberpunk. Farming Simulator 22. Real big hitter here. Real big hitter for PlayStation. Tiny Tina's Wonderland and WWE 2K22. Like, the game trials thing is cool, but 6 games supporting it at launch, woof. Fucking wolf.
It's a really weird like they definitely have some things that you definitely want, but
yeah, just get the tier 2, folks.
Yeah.
Get the tier 2, get your cool PS4, PS5 games. Wait for them to actually build out the classics library, because I think they've already said basically they're going to add more, and some of them have trophy support. I think the Siphon Filter, Ben Studio, the ones who made Siphon Filter, announced that it's going to have trophies. So like, just wait. Like if you're looking at this classic catalog, don't bother, folks. Give it some time.
Snowcat in the chat links to the Fantavision wiki, which is apparently a 2000 year 2000 puzzle video game. That was a launch title for the PlayStation 2. Ooh, but that wasn't.
It's
good
about
then.
like matching fireworks colors.
But that wasn't good then.
And they remastered it for PS4. That's the wildest thing about this. They remastered it for PS4, and that's the version that's on.
And they didn't remaster Eternal Ring. Fucking crimes.
They don't even own Eternal Ring.
Yeah, well, that's FromSoft's fault. To be fair, they made Elden Ring, which is a much better video game. Chris takes away a point from David for not mentioning Knack, which was on that list. I did highlight it as you were speaking. Dinky Danky tried to take away a point from you because you don't have ad block on. That's on me. I do have ad block on, but sometimes on these websites they make you turn ad block off so you can actually view the page because they need to make money to run their websites. So yeah, sorry that there was some ads on that.
Oh, your ad blocker sucks. Mine didn't do that.
Well, it's just my bad ad blocker, I guess. I got to get a better one. Pridge. I just use the basic one. It's just called ad block.
You gotta get on uBlock, my dude.
Okay.
I have ad block. How the fuck did yours not work?
I don't. Maybe I need to update it. I don't know. Pridge, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
All right, let's talk about Jim Ryan and why no one likes vague, non-committal statements that mean nothing. So this was a week from yesterday. So this was May 12th. Jim Ryan, the president of PlayStation, basically sent an email to all the employees, which I guess was supposed to like. Honestly, I have no idea why he sent this email. It's so bad that I can't figure out what he was fucking thinking. But basically, what he did, because obviously the leaked Supreme Court draft showing the Supreme Court's intention to overturn Roe v. Wade, obviously is the biggest political talking point right now. Mm-hmm. He sent an email that the point was to basically say like, don't argue over this because we are a multifaceted and diverse company holding many different points of view, and we need to respect differences of opinion. Blah 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 blah. It's a really bad email. So basically, he did this thing where like, I know this is controversial, so I am going to boldly say, let's just let bygones be bygones. Sure, one side wants to allow people not to be treated like human incubators, and the other side wants to strip away their rights. But can't we just agree that all opinions are valid? He also talked about his cats, his two cats' first birthday, and
that was an odd choice, huh?
Yeah, just like, dog, maybe not the email for this. Again, no part of this email should exist, truthfully, but especially not about the 5 paragraphs on your two cats' first birthday.
Why would you include that in this email that you sent out to the whole company? What the fuck are you thinking, Jim?
Because he's so fucking stupid.
It's because these CEOs, like, they think that socializing is just introducing themselves and telling people about their day if they're forced to. Like, forcing people to hear about their day.
Right, it's all the jokes of like Mark Zuckerberg pretending to be human and trying to like mimic how humans operate. Trying to like, I know what the humans enjoy. Stories about pets. This will make my email more acceptable if I include stories about cats.
It's because they think if their employees see them as human, that it'll raise morale and stop them from doing a revolution.
Spoiler alert, this did not raise morale.
Yeah.
Everyone's pissed about this. Bungie, who Sony owns, basically came out and said, yeah, we support Roe v. Wade because we're not stupid. And then I think it was Insomniac who donated a bunch of money.
Yes, they gave 50,000.
Yeah, they gave a decent amount of money. They had to be sort of on the down low about it because PlayStation. But I mean, there's not much more you can. It's about as loud as you're gonna get to donate a bunch of money to a cause. It pretty much solidly puts what side you're on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously this is a really fucking terrible decision. This is a pointless email that accomplishes nothing. And it's obviously not as bad as being anti-choice, but sometimes being obnoxiously fence-sitting almost comes across as worse as just being on the wrong side.
Well, it's
Like, if you're gonna be an asshole, just commit to it instead of this bullshit, like, let's this both sides isn't bullshit.
It's, I mean, hey, like, you know, three out of the 5 people on this podcast are cis white men, but it's like, it must be nice to have the fucking privilege to just be like, it's fine. Respect both sides. Like, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, to send out this email to your entire company, which employs
Fucking wild.
thousands of people, and then include several paragraphs about your cat's birthdays and how cool of a pet dogs are and how you're thinking about getting a dog. It's like, not the fucking time, Jim. What the
Read the
fuck?
room. Read the room that you opened up by sending this fucking email.
Yeah.
You made the room.
Yeah,
fucking
literally.
read it.
That's the problem. Is like, he didn't have to say anything.
You could have just shut the fuck up and been an asshole. You just could have been an asshole in silence. Shut the fuck up.
That's
Even if you just sent an email that, like, as a corporation, PlayStation is maintaining neutrality, would be better than, like, oh, we're being neutral. Also, cats.
Also,
yeah.
what about my cats, though?
Yeah. Yeah, Chris says this email could have been a thought.
This email could have been something you thought to yourself and never said out loud or wrote down.
It's
And we all would have been better off for it.
the whole situation is just like, my guy, why?
My brother in Christ.
You made this so much worse for yourself, and you literally could have said nothing, and nobody would have been on your ass about this. But catching up with the chat, Witch Tower gives a point to Pritch for pointing out the cowardice of centrists. And Witch Tower also redeemed a message just to say, Jimmy Ryan can respect these nuts. Rob, final topic of the show. What would you like to talk about? Bring us home.
Okay.
Oh, sleepy time, Rob, over here. You should have been muted for that yawn.
My bad. We're going to talk about Fall Guys going free to play.
Hey, you know what? This is actually a pretty light topic compared to everything else. So, yeah.
Dude, you know, I'm all about those light topics. You know,
Yeah.
So, in addition to knowing me for my light topics, you also know that I like to play free-to-play games.
Yeah.
For the most part. I don't really like to pay money when I'm playing my games, right? I play League, I play RuneScape. We won't talk about Minecraft. I had money back when I bought it, okay? So don't worry about that. I bought it before it was full price. There we go. That's good enough.
It's like $20.
Look. And now Fall Guys is
$20
going to be even less than
in
that.
this $20 in this economy.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I thought Fall Guys was already free to play, so I was kind of thinking like, why have I not played this yet? Because it was super popular for a bit. Same thing as Among Us. I was like, isn't that free to play?
It did come
on
out on PlayStation Plus for free for a month, so that's probably what you're thinking.
Maybe that's it. It's probably not, but maybe that's it. Mm-hmm. So now that it's actually free to play, it might be like, oh, let's people like me who are familiar with the game, but like we're like, I'm not paying money to be like a little jelly bean or whatever. I'd rather buy jelly beans, right?
It's not your kind of candy.
Maybe I'll check this game out. I'll eat a jelly bean or two.
Oh, okay.
Smash one day after Easter when they're cheap, you know. This is a good time to try out this game. It's kind of like Fortnite in that every time I look at it, which is once every, I don't know, 6 months or so, it looks very different, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun. Is it free to play yet? No? Okay. I'll give a fuck then.
Next month, though.
Having level builders in it is going to be great, because every time I've watched it, I'm like, these levels look very, like, either easy or frustrating in their difficulty. It's not like, oh, this requires skill to do. It's like, oh, this is kind of an awkward maneuver to get through or something. Seeing everything that, you know, if you played Halo way back in the day, you know that people are fucking insane, and if you give them a forge mode, you're gonna get, you know, the developers are gonna take what the people make and go, oh, this is actually really fucking fun. Let's make this a real thing and give it some financial backing and, increase the production value of it a little bit. So even if it's only just now I have another game to help kill an afternoon with, it's going to be good to play a little Fall Guys, here and there.
This is going to get Forge mode before Halo Infinite does.
Holy fuck, dude. I take it all back. Actually, no, let's just fucking flame Halo a little bit. That game fucking sucks, dude. Master Chief is fucking the Covenant, who's a woman. I don't know. I don't understand.
Wait, what?
The show is... Why would
the TV show Wet Places suck?
Wait,
TV
the
show
woman that he has
is
sex
so
with is a
fucking
Covenant? What does that face mean?
In the sense that the Covenant isn't a race and it's
it's a
pact between
ideology, a religion kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, oh, he fucked a Christian. It's like, oh, gross. Why would he do that?
So it's just a human. He's not like fucking the female version of the Arbiter.
There are no tentacles. There's only one mandible.
Halo.
Like, what the fuck?
Master Chief got on fucking Christian Mingle and found a fucking Covenant.
Dude, if you're gonna go there, just have him actually have sex with a member of like whatever fucking race the Arbiter is. Just go there. It's 2022. You're allowed
It's
to.
2022. We're allowed to fuck the elites now. Those guys have the sexiest voices.
Oh no! Anna Luster says she's also POW. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, it's very ethically dubious, and the Master Chief is not.
Is it
like
really?
character. Yeah, you don't really want to. Are you messing with me?
No, I haven't watched it. I'm like you're blowing my mind with everything right now.
No, she's a prisoner of war, and the UNSC has her under lock and key, and he walks in and goes, "Let me show your lock my key."
What?
Oh, he didn't walk in and said, "Let me show you the master beef."
Oh my god! What?
When he climaxes, does he say finishing the fight?
Yeah. I made this joke off stream, but does he use the official Halo 2 sponsored condom? Jesus Christ.
They're actually trying to stay away from everything canon Halo material. So
yeah. Well, it makes sense, clearly.
The condom is very canon.
Holy Christ. Well, we are technically at a tie right here. However, Witchtower did give a point to Rob for shitting on Halo. So, folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. David, Fridge, and Elise, it's time to go home and become family folks because this week's winner is Rob. You also got cut out for all of that, dude.
Your mic ate all of that.
God damn it.
God.
You know what? That's fine.
Do you want to try it one more time?
Nope, that hurt my throat a little bit.
Okay, well,
That's fair.
are you ready to talk about your minute to win it?
You know what? After my last time, hold on.
He's got a list.
Win it topics in my notes tab on my phone. Ooh. Okay, I'll give you a choice for this one.
Okay.
We could talk about colorblind racism,
Okay.
selfishness, spring water versus distilled water,
Wait, what?
or LGBT pedophiles and dog whistles.
I'm sorry. One of these things is not like the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah. Rob, can you? I'm gonna make a poll for the chat. We're running long, but I'll edit this in post. Fucking water is gonna win. Son of a bitch.
Listen, when you have one thing that stands out that much, it's gonna fucking win.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with water.
As Rob just fucking chugs. Rob, is that filtered or spring? What do you got there? What are you working with?
Or is it mineral? You know, mineral water.
Or is it tap water?
Let me make sure I get it on. This is.
Is that Kroger brand?
Oh, it's Kroger
It
brand. I
is
see
Kroger
that.
brand. Ah, shit! It's spring water.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We got like 5 seconds left, and water is winning by a country mile. So, Rob, Are you ready to
Tell us
talk
about
about water
water.
for a minute?
I am ready to talk about water.
All right.
Maybe not for a minute, but I will say at least
What a
2 sentences
hydro
about
homie.
it.
All right. Take it away.
Hey, I was one of those guys before. Never mind.
Oh, before
So-
they changed the name?
Water, right? You can buy these gallon jugs.
Seth, that's me.
Yeah, I fixed it. You viewed it in the past.
Somewhere between 69 cents and like $1.50, $2 if you're getting ripped off, unfortunately. These are super convenient to have around the house if you're like, man, I need to drink more water during the day, but I hate refilling a water bottle or something. You just get yourself one of these gallon jugs and people will be like, man, that guy's awesome. He's ripped. Look at him just throw back shitloads of water. Holy fuck. I kind of want to, I want to get with that guy right there, right? But when you're doing this, make sure you get the spring water because the distilled, that's pure water, the pH of 7 and all that stuff. This doesn't taste very good, Not one versus the other isn't like that much better for you. But go for spring water because you get a little bit more flavor in it. And by flavor, I mean it doesn't taste bad,
Okay. Thank you for the enlightening topic there. No, that's really good. Thank you.
We could have gone
I
with
believe
something
the
hot and heavy.
reason that distilled water tastes like that is because it's basically water is such a good solvent that when it is distilled, it really wants to dissolve something, so it basically dissolves everything in your tongue or in your mouth,
Oh,
like into the water.
sounds terrible.
I mean, it's good for you.
Turns out water will kill you.
Yeah.
A lot of things will kill you if you have too much of it.
It's true.
I would say literally everything.
Folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. Things to plug this week.
Vamping
Nothing.
time.
We're not doing
Go
content.
watch
Goodbye,
last
everyone.
week's Save Data cast on human mascots. It's a good one.
Also, I believe the best performing Save Data cast.
Blows my mind, but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Better than the one where we had Greg Miller on it for some fucking reason.
Yeah, nobody cares about that guy. Who is he?
I've never heard of him. I'll say that right now.
Yeah. June 18th. Mark it on your calendars. It's a Saturday. We're going to be streaming for at least 10 hours, around 10 hours. We got a lot of things planned, including the WWE SmackDown Save Data Battle Royale. The name will be workshopped, although that sounded pretty cool to me. We got plenty of other things, including Chaos Jeopardy hosted by Pridge. I know y'all are excited for that. So
Chaos Pridge Party.
yeah, it's gonna be
Jeopardy.
buck wild.
We should that.
So be hyped for that. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, that's June 18th. And going up, it's finished being edited. The problem is that we have scheduled uploads for the next few days. But Wednesday, the musical theater tier list is going to be uploaded. So be excited for that. Okay, we're gonna have the stream. Hey folks, if you like this, head over to twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam. You can catch it live. If not, watch it on podcast services around the globe. And if you do that, give us a 5-star rating. Helps us out a ton. Costs you nothing. We really love that.
Do it for Save Data cast too.
Also, Save Data Cast is on. It's in a different feed. We might want to consolidate those feeds now that I think about it. We can talk about that later. But until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.